That's the approach of the left these days, right? That's kind of where they're coming from. And it's just maddening. That's also their approach when it comes to anybody who disagrees with them on the Second Amendment.
If you ban them in the future, the bullets will have been shot and there won't be any more available.
So you don't shoot deer with a bullet that size. If you do, you could cook it at the same time.
Put that double-barrel shotgun and fire 2 blasts outside the house.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
This is 2A Tuesday, brought to you by the Range St. Louis West.
Glad to have Rick Ector joining us again. We've had Rick on in the past. He's an NRA firearms instructor. You can find out more about him at DetroitCCW.com. Rick, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on, man. It's been too long.
It has been a while. It's great to get you back on here. There's never a shortage of things to talk about when it comes to assaults on the Second Amendment. That's for sure. You know, Rick, maybe the most recent one is now David Chipman, who was part of Gabby Gifford's gun-grabbing outfit, was nominated to lead the ATF, and he's now whining that the White House never gave him the support they should have, and therefore his nomination failed. I'd say there was a lot more to his nomination failing than a lack of White House support.
Well, you know, he has been absolutely toxic for those of us who embrace freedom, the Constitution, and, of course, the Second Amendment. It's no mistake that he was widely supported for the nomination by Everytown and Brady United, which spells nothing but bad news for law-abiding, Constitution-loving United States citizens, man.
Yeah, you got to worry, really. I mean, what comes next? I mean, the White House nominated this guy, somebody who got in front of Congress and could not define the word assault weapon. He couldn't define what that was in his word. He basically classified anything that was a semi-automatic rifle that took a detachable magazine as an assault rifle. And they wanted this guy to be in charge of the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms organization.
Well,
it's amazing.
I can't hold that against him. I mean, because I can't define an assault weapon or an assault rifle. So if I can't do something, I can't criticize him for not being able to do it either. But, you know, to those guys, man, it's anything that they want to ban, you know, and the thing that really gets me is that the anti-gunners, they intentionally try to confuse the language and try to have people think that a semi-auto firearm is something that is not particularly, you know, a fully automatic firearm such as a machine gun or whatever. Or if they want to push magazine size capacity, red flag laws, ghost gun legislation, you name it, this guy David Chipman was for it, and that would have been nothing but bad news for gun owners and people that love the Constitution.
Well, you know, you see it all the time because you're involved in training people, but you know, I talk to like the Range St. Louis West sponsors this segment on my show. I talk to those folks over there all the time. A huge number. They think maybe 35-40% of their business last year, which was a record-breaking year, was new gun owners. These are people who before had not considered going and buying a gun, but they went through the background check, and now they're out there looking for the training because they're concerned in the light of, you know, defund the police movements that they're going to have to defend themselves.
You know, you know what? They made a totally rational decision as they watched the national news every night on their television screens, or if they were streaming them on their cell phones. They saw riot after riot after riot in major cities all across the country, and they basically watched local police be on the scene being told to stand down and let them torch and burn down the city, man. And it was a very unsettling sight. And you know what? They made a very rational decision. Take responsibility for your safety and buy a firearm and learn the law.
Well, it's true. And you know, you got to respect that decision I've got a couple of folks who are certainly left of center on their politics because I have them on here as guests occasionally. And several of them have reached out to me off the air and said, listen, Who's that range company that you advertise for all the time? Because we want to go over there and buy a gun. Because they know it, because they live in the city of St. Louis. And I'm imagining Detroit's the same way.
Oh, yeah, regardless of your political orientation, I mean, here's the fundamental thing that I think that we all can agree upon. We all should have a right to feel safe and secure in our person and in our home. And if you feel that society has reached a point where our elected officials are not upholding the law and not holding people accountable, by all means, embrace that Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution and buy a firearm, learn how to use it, and be aware.
Yeah, it's a great advice. Listen, Rick Ector, always a pleasure having you on, my friend. Thank you.
Hey, man, thank you for having me on for 2A Tuesday.
We'll do it again soon. Rick Ector there at Detroit CCW, DetroitCCW.com is his website. As I mentioned, he's a NRA firearms instructor up in Michigan.